Podcast City Network.
This way. Here we go.
Hey guys, this is Chris, and we are here for another exciting episode of Final Score because we are live at City Limits Taproom in beautiful D-Land, Florida for the Super Bowl.
Gorgeous day out here. It is fantastic day for football. I'm excited, and we got draft day.
That's right, we got draft day, so we're definitely going to be bringing on Derek the Beer Guy to help sample some amazing brews because what better way to celebrate the Super Bowl than draft day? So it's going to be awesome. I really can't wait.
Absolutely. It's going to be fun. We have a tribute to Kobe. We're talking football,
yes.
And you notice the angle. The camera's a little different today.
I know we look really big.
And we are live out on location, but
yes.
We had some technical difficulties.
Yeah.
So, this is the best we got right now, so bear with us.
Yeah, definitely having some camera issues. Camera 1 and camera 2 both took a dump on us. So if you want to help support your favorite show, shoot us an email, maybe send us a camera, but a lot. No, seriously, though, we are trying to do our very best to still bring you a show. So don't mind the angle, but we are still going to be here. But make sure that you keep up with all things Final Score. You have to follow us on social media at PCN Final Score. Right there. That's right above my head. Don't mind me. Right there. At PCN Final Score on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can go on there, give us a like, give us a follow. Make sure you check mark for notifications so you never miss out. And, of course, leave us a rating. Let us know how we're doing. We always try to bring the very best show that we can at all times, every day of the week. So that's how we do it here at Final Score.
Absolutely. And on social media, you can find us at PCN Final Score on all of those places. And, of course, you can check us out. Keyword Final Score. All the platforms you see below you, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Podbean, Stitcher, and Google Podcasts.
That's right. Just follow the arrows right there down below. And make sure to check it all out because we definitely have a lot of episodes now because now this is episode 45.
45. We're almost the big 5-0.
We're almost the big 5-0.
We're going to have to do something special for 50.
Also to make sure, though, you got to support our parent network, Podcast City Network, on all of their social media outlets. I tell you what, they have a lot of great stuff. But to find out more, you just have to go to Twitter at Podcast City Net. On YouTube, search keyword Podcast City Network. On Facebook at /Podcast City Network. And, of course, their website, podcastcity.net. Real easy.
Yeah, all of our great shows on that network, just really whatever you're into. We have wrestling. We have, of course, us, the sports channel.
Sports, paranormal.
We have paranormal. That's a great show.
That is a good one.
Files 13 is really cool. I like that show.
Files 13, Robin Nelson. Definitely make sure you check that one out. We love that one.
Yeah, and we've got the movie nights, Imaginarium, talking about pop culture and movies, and of course the Oscars are coming up.
Yeah, I can't forget the Oscars.
Any Oscar coverage, check those guys out.
And of course, Dalton over at the Movie Nights, they just recently released their 2019 movies in review, so definitely make sure you go over and check that out as well. That is up on the Podcast City Network Facebook page. So just hop on over, facebook.com/Podcast City Network.
All right, let's get the show started, huh?
Yeah, I'm really excited.
We got draft
Super Bowl day, and you always got to kick it off right with good old draft day. So at this time, we're going to bring on Derek, the beer guy. Come on, Derek.
The beer guy.
Come on.
All right. Coming on in.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up, Derek? How you doing, man?
Doing good.
Remember, you want to put your mouth nice and closed, but not on it.
Not on it.
Not on it. Remember, no teeth.
Don't try to eat it.
No. Well, we're going to sample some good brews today. First beer on the list is going to be a 420 strain series by Sweetwater Brewing Company. It's G13. It is inspired by using particular terpenes that are found in said plant, essentially, and combining it to
said plants. I like that.
To allow some aromatherapy there. So if you smell it, it should smell similar to that strain.
Yeah, it does. It does actually smell like it. I'm not gonna lie.
Good.
Don't worry, they're not leaving me out. I'm on a I'm on a kick right now. I'm not drinking.
If you've been following him at all on social media, you know he's been making this very concentrated effort to try and better his life, which included cold showers. I don't know how you do it.
It's not that bad, actually. It's not that bad.
It's pretty good for you, then.
It's very good for you. Yeah.
God, there's so
it's
many
great for the
jokes
bloodstream.
and cracks I can make, but we're on a limited time frame here. So
cold shower beer is good in the morning, too.
It is. Yeah, it definitely is.
I
March 1st, I'll be back. Next draft day, I'm in.
That's right. So definitely make sure you come out March 7th. If you haven't found out about that event, what are you doing? Get out from under a rock. But
so we got a 420 strain.
420.
God, it does smell like straight marijuana.
It's gonna be a dank taste to it. There's gonna be some.
Oh.
Tastes like liquid marijuana.
Yeah. There's some.
I believe there's a drink for that, isn't it?
It probably is.
There is some infusion out there, some hybrid beers.
Oh yeah, this is a good one. I really like this one.
Now the IBUs
Very good.
are sitting around 40, 58. I'm gonna double check here.
Get your notes up.
I can smell. I can literally smell that from across the
IBUs.
set here.
And it's sitting at about
can smell it, yeah.
6% ABV.
Okay.
Now, it is an IPA as always, so usually the bitterness kind of shines through a little bit more than usual, but still dank, citrus, and earthy notes.
Oh, I can definitely taste that. A little bit of citrus that kind of hints through, but that earthy keeps it all very well grounded. So definitely really good.
And all for 6%, huh?
6%, just 6%.
Yeah.
And you get it here at City Limits.
That's right. So definitely make sure you come out and check out City Limits. All the great offerings that they have.
Sweetwater.
Can't go
They do have a
wrong
lot
with
of
that.
good brews, though. Sweetwater.
Oh, they
does.
really do.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 420 line,
Yep.
420 strain. Pretty good stuff.
Yep. But as we move on, we're going to go ahead and finish these up and move on to talking a little bit about Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, we absolutely got to dive into this, and of course, everyone in the sports world has talked about this last couple of days, over the last week, really. Kobe Bryant passing away in that helicopter crash in Southern California, and it's really unfortunate. We had 9 total lives lost, including Kobe and his daughter Gianna, Gigi as she was nicknamed. This is tough. Honestly, this hit me really hard. For someone that I've never met, really interacted with much, but the impact that Kobe had on the world around him, especially as he got older in his career, started branching out, doing other things, he won an Oscar.
He won a freaking Oscar.
I mean, he was dead set on having that mentality that athletes in particular could be more than just labeled as athletes.
Absolutely. And Kobe transcended the sport of basketball. He came in and was a force unto himself, showing why he was such an amazing player, an amazing teammate, and was able to win 5 championships, accomplish so much in the world of basketball, and then went on to be an even better human for everybody off the court, honestly, and helped youth in many cities be able to rise up and overcome what their situations were to become also great basketball players. And the one thing a lot of people do note on is that, we did lose Kobe, but like you said, we lost 9 people. 9 lives were lost in this. Very, very sad, including his daughter, which is absolutely horrible. As a parent myself, I could not imagine in any way, shape, or form losing one of my children. So I can only imagine what his wife and the remaining children are feeling right now, and our hearts definitely go out to you guys.
Yeah, and a college baseball coach and his wife and daughter all on that
his
crash.
whole family.
Very, very sad situation, but a lot of great gestures have been made both by athletes around the world and the NBA themselves. One of the things that the NBA has actually chosen to do for the All-Star game is all players on, I think, Giannis's team are going to be number 2.
Yep, number 2.
And then everyone on Team LeBron will be wearing number 24.
Yep.
Which great gesture that in and of itself.
Absolutely.
But it's going to be another emotional night. I mean, I know you and I were talking during the first Lakers game since the tragedy at Staples Center, and that was an emotional tribute. I mean,
I watched the whole thing, and it was truly amazing to see the outpouring of support and love for Kobe Bryant. The team actually even set up shirts donating the 8 and 24, depending upon which half of the arena you're on, with Kobe's name on it to try and honor him. Had his numbers on either end of the court, had his initials on one end of the court, patches that were put on the jerseys, and it was just absolutely amazing. And the tribute that they gave, and having Usher come out and sing Amazing Grace, and they also had a cellist who came out and played, and it was just really amazing to see just all the love and support that everybody had outpouring for Kobe Bryant, to pay respects to Kobe Bryant and everything that he did. Absolutely amazing. Yeah,
and there's been petitions by fans of trying to make Kobe the logo, really.
Yeah, try to replace Jerry West.
Players have been also changing their numbers if they were number 8 or 24.
Yes.
So that way they do not represent Kobe's number. He has already had both numbers retired by the LA Lakers, but there's been movements there to try to push so that is a league-wide retirement.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are trying to push for that. Some teams have even taken steps towards that already. The Dallas Mavericks actually retired the 24, said no one in the franchise will ever wear that number again in honor of Kobe Bryant. So a lot of teams are really pushing for that, and like you said, there's been a lot of players changing their numbers. That way they can honor Kobe Bryant. So it's going to be very interesting seeing how a lot of this will play out going forward, because Kobe Bryant was such a force in the world of basketball that
absolutely
everything that comes his way in honor of him, I think, is well deserved.
Yeah, and like I said, the All-Star Weekend is going to be another huge emotional weekend in Chicago, and that's going to be, as a basketball fan, that one hurts. But
yeah, that one's going to hurt, and obviously also with the Hall of Fame ceremony, that'll be later this year as well. You know, a lot of people already expected Kobe to get inducted because this was going to be his first year of eligibility, but now they've already come out, the NBA that is, has come out and said flat out that this is going to be turned into an enshrinement of Kobe Bryant, a true testament to everything he did for the world of basketball.
And already a star-studded class. Now it's just going to be that much more of an event with Kobe Bryant being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely. So, again, our hats off to Kobe Bryant, his family, and all the friends and family involved of all the victims. We send our condolences, and we try to be with you in thoughts and prayers in this really tough time. But there's only one way, I think, to send the man out right.
I agree. I think there's another way. We got to bring back Derek the Beer Guy.
Bring back Derek the Beer Guy. We're going to bring in our second beer.
Bring in the second beer. What do you have for us, Derek?
Well, it's not in honor of cracking claws, but I mean, it is pretty light and refreshing. It's like drinking water, same concept of cracking claws, but the competition is Truly's. This is basically unflavored hard seltzer.
Ah, there you go.
Good, refreshing.
Very refreshing. Yeah,
something in between that IPA, which some IBUs rinse it all down.
Oh, for sure. But to Kobe Bryant.
To Kobe Bryant. I have a water here. Let me cheers to Kobe Bryant here. At least get a cheers to Kobe.
I wish we could throw this, but we can't do the Kobe shot like that.
Yes, please do not throw glasses.
There's a trash can right over there, but I don't think we're going to make it without shattering glasses. So that'll have to be it.
Very, very fresh. This is basically a drinking day beer right here for sure. Out in the water, out in the boat, or out on your dock, out fishing, anything, mowing the lawn. This is it. Keep hydrated and get crunk at the same time.
Can't go wrong with
Keeps
that.
you on that high level all day.
Yeah,
kind of gradually takes you up, and you're just right there.
That never-ending wave.
The never-ending wave.
But we will save some of this though, because our next beer is going to be pretty hoppy.
Okay.
So
Okay. I'll try to make sure to make this one last.
Don't down it.
Yeah, you don't want to down that one.
All right. Again, thank you, Derek, the beer guy.
Thank you, Derek. We're going to have him back in just a few minutes, but we got to talk about the big game tonight. Big game starts at 6:30 p.m. Super Bowl 54 down in Miami. San Francisco 49ers, Kansas City Chiefs.
Ooh, buddy.
This is going to be a doozy, and we've actually got, for the first time I think in a while, I think the two best teams in the NFL
Truly
meeting up head-to-head. I see what you did there, truly, because you just drank one. I see that. That's good.
I have my moments.
But we have, I think, in my opinion, the two best teams in the NFL matching up for the Super Bowl, and this is going to be a great game. I mean, we got to talk about some major keys to the game.
Oh, yeah.
Let's start with the NFC champion, San Francisco 49ers. What do you think they have to do on offense in order to win the Vince Lombardi Trophy?
Well, first things first, they have to run the ball. You have to run the ball and try and capitalize on what Mustair did for you guys last week and setting up for an offense that ended up producing over 250 rushing yards against the Green Bay Packers in the NFC title game. That is going to be a huge, huge key because once you can get that running game going, you can lean on that. Jimmy Garoppolo threw under 10 passes in that game just because of the fact that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep running that ball. And they ran it to deadly efficiency, being able to score 4 touchdowns on the ground. And it was absolutely amazing to see what they did to Green Bay.
Yeah, all led by Mozart, who had over 200 yards himself. But they had 285 total rush yards in the game, as you mentioned, 6.8 yards per carry. They've been the top rushing offense in the NFL all season, and that's definitely got to be the top key there. The second one, key number 2, you got to keep Pat Mahomes off the field.
Absolutely.
Patrick Mahomes got to keep him off the field. You got to control that time of possession. And, I mean, because you see what he can do even in limited time. Look what he did against Houston earlier this playoffs. Houston was up to, 21 or 24-0.
24-0.
And then all of a sudden, by halftime, boom, Houston's down 28-24.
Or to even look at the AFC title game when they were playing Tennessee and they got behind down early. And Mahomes was just trying to make plays, get down near the end of the first half. And the guy's now going from taking, say, a 5 to 8 yard loss into a touchdown run of 20-plus yards. So it just shows that if you can contain Patrick Mahomes, you can control a certain aspect of this game because he is the key to everything when it comes to the Kansas City offense. However, if you allow him to get loose, get to the outside, leave him unguarded in any kind of way that allows him to get downfield running using his legs, then you're going to get killed all game long because he's also a master of getting to the outside using his legs to be able to get in position to get a pass downfield, whether it be to McCall Hardman or be to Tyreek Hill or be to Sammy Watkins. It doesn't matter. If he can get out there and find a guy, he's going to find a guy, and it's going to be dangerous tonight. Just watch.
Yeah, the third key on offense for the San Francisco 49ers, you got to feed George Kittle. George Kittle had 85 receptions this year, over 1,000 yards, only 5 touchdowns, but in 2 games in the playoffs, catch this, he's only got 4 receptions. Only 35 yards and 0 touchdowns. He has been basically rendered ineffective all playoffs, and I think if they want to legitimately have a shot of winning this game, you got to feed Kittle early, you got to feed him often, and you got to make sure that he becomes an X factor in this football game.
Absolutely, because he was part of a huge factor when the San Francisco 49ers were able to go on the road and knock off the New Orleans Saints and get them out of contention. So it's if you feed the tight end, things will happen. You have an elite tight end on this team that you have to make use of. Now, obviously, like we said with the Green Bay game, they're trying to just roll the hot hand, go with Mostert and all the great running game that he was having. But at the end of the day, you still got to have some type of aspect of a passing game. This is not Green Bay you're playing against anymore.
Right.
You're playing against a team that actually has a somewhat good defense and a team that also has an offense that can probably match you point for point, if not outscore you. So you have to be able to make sure that you try and take advantage of every single offensive weapon that you have in this game.
Absolutely. We're actually on a couple of our TVs over here. They got the pregame show, which I think started at, 8 o'clock this morning, basically?
Oh, yeah. No. It was
they have 12
6
hours.
o'clock yesterday morning.
Yeah, they have 12 hours of coverage for the Super Bowl every single
WWE
day.
about it, do a whole week,
Yeah, they just
NFL fan access.
they very well
they use it, now you guys got to pay me.
But let's talk about the defense now. 49ers defense, you already mentioned a little bit about Patrick Mahomes, but that's got to be the top key is containing Pat Mahomes.
Well, absolutely. With everything Patrick Mahomes has been able to do in the playoffs has been absolutely insane. In the playoffs alone, 615 passing yards, 8 touchdowns, no interceptions, only been sacked twice, which is honestly damn good for a quarterback going against great defenses. And on top of it, also has 15 carries for 106 yards and a touchdown. So showing that he can get it both done on the ground, in the air, in any way he needs to be able to win games. So if San Francisco wants to be able to hold into this one, you're going to have to limit him. Yeah,
he's been a dual threat all playoffs. I mean, looking at what you mentioned, all of his stats that he's had, he's just been – you try to generate a pass rush, but, San Francisco hasn't really generated a whole big of a pass rush. I think they were rated 22nd in sacks forced this year. They're dead last in interceptions forced, and they really need to kind of pick things up, and they need to generate more of a pass rush, try to create some turnovers, which is really difficult because Patrick Mahomes, he doesn't turn the ball over.
But the thing is, though, is that you have great defenders that should be able to, in theory, to get to the quarterback, especially when you're looking at your great rookie defensive end in Nick Bosa and the things that he's been able to do in his entire rookie season. This guy is going to be a stud in the NFL. He's going to make plays.
Right.
He is going to get to the quarterback. It's just how many times is that actually going to happen? However, Kansas City does have a pretty solid offensive line, and that's one thing that can play to their advantage because they have been able to protect Patrick Mahomes pretty darn well throughout the year, obviously with the exception of when he ended up hurting himself, but that's not Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
Just saying. But either way, if you're able to get to Patrick Mahomes, this defense will be able to make a difference because you're going to have to let Patrick Mahomes know that, hey, this defense is coming, and you're going to have to hit him a couple times to make sure he knows it.
Absolutely, and you got to look at a little bit of who else they've got on that defensive line because while Bosa has been able to get 9 sacks this year, but look at all the other guys. They've drafted high draft picks have been spent on the defensive line for this team, and you got Solomon Thomas there. You've got, I believe, Frank Clark, right?
Yeah, and of course you still have DeForest Buckner sitting out there too.
Oh yeah, DeForest Buckner. You got those guys out there. So you got to try to get a solid pass rush there. But the third one, this Kansas City offense, big plays. That's what they're all about is big plays. So for the San Francisco defense, you got to limit those big plays as much as possible. Try to make sure that Pat Mahomes does not get outside the pocket. You got to try to force him to make maybe his second, third, fourth reads. If you can do that, you might be able to generate a pass rush. I mean, you got guys back there. You got Richard Sherman. You got guys this defense doesn't create a lot of turnovers, but they stay in front of guys and they don't give up those big plays.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the third key.
Yeah, it's more of like a bend and don't break style defense where, sure, you might let up some yards, but you're not going to allow them to get in the end zone, and that's going to be the big key. But like you said, with Kansas City, when you have Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce's always able to get himself into position. You have LaShawn McCoy also in the backfield, who's also a good pass-catching running back. You can get guys in space that are able to make plays, and you have to be able to limit that as much as possible. And we've seen Patrick Mahomes literally come in and improv plays to be able to make things happen. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this is going to turn out.
Absolutely. Let's switch over to the Kansas City Chiefs now.
Oh, baby.
Now, their offense, you kind of mentioned a little bit, but what do you think is the top key for the Kansas City Chiefs to win this football game?
Well, you got to stop the 49ers pass rush. You got to keep Nick Bosa and DeForest Buckner and all these other players that we've mentioned from getting to Patrick Mahomes. As long as you can stop that and you can allow Patrick Mahomes to play the style of football that he plays, where he can go out, sling it, go out, run it, go out, improv a play, the Kansas City's going to be able to win this game. That's what the key is going to be. Stop that pass rush, and you're going to be able to allow Patrick Mahomes to do what he does best.
And Patrick Mahomes only been sacked twice in this playoffs, so that's going to be a big factor in making sure, because he can get out of those sacks. How many times have we seen over the last 2 games Pat Mahomes get close to taking a sack and then just slither right out of it and then make plays downfield?
Exactly. Even having contact made on him, and he still gets out of it and is able to make a play. And that's going to be the thing. You have to be able to take advantage. If you touch him, you have to take him down, because if you don't, he's going to kill you.
Yep, and that's the second point. You got to let Pat Mahomes do what he does best, which is make plays, whether it's on the ground with his feet, which he's deadly fast, like surprisingly
fast.
He's surprisingly fast for someone of his size, and you don't expect him to be like that. But I mean, looking at that play where it looked like against the Titans, looks like he's going out of bounds. Everybody lets up.
This is amazing. Sorry, they have some amazing commercials if you know anything about the Super Bowl. And we're currently watching an amazing one as Jimmy Garoppolo was formerly with the Patriots.
No, this is Rob Riggle. He's doing his pregame stuff.
Yes, but he was wearing a 10 jersey for the Patriots. So I was like, oh my gosh, so
Garoppolo's old number, of course.
Right.
But the third key for the offense for the Kansas City Chiefs, you got to protect the football.
Absolutely.
You have to protect the football. I mean, and that's a pretty basic one that everyone has anyway.
It is.
But you really have to. You got to limit these turnovers. Like we said, San Francisco's defense, they don't force a lot of turnovers.
Right.
But I mean, look at the players that they've got on that side, and they can have the ability to force turnovers. Look at what Richard Sherman's done already in this playoffs.
Absolutely, and it's been absolutely amazing to see what they've been able to do. So if Kansas City wants to be able to make sure that they can have a realistic shot at winning Super Bowl 54, they have to protect the football, especially because when you're in high-stress situations, it's so much easier to make a mistake. Because at this point, this is it. Win or lose, this game is it. And that's something that's in the back of every player's mind of, I have to go out, I have to do my job so I can do what I can for my team to help win this game. And if you have issues, whether it be turnovers, penalties, mental errors, mental mistakes, that could absolutely destroy you in times like this when you're trying to win a championship.
Absolutely. And we're looking at on the defensive side of the ball now for the Chiefs. Now, they've taken a lot of slack for being the worst half of this football team, but they've been very good. They've led the league in fumbles forced. They're tied for first in sacks. So, I mean, what do you think their first key is going to be to win this game?
Well, before we get to that first key, we got Derek the beer guy back.
Oh, that's right.
He's brought us another round of brews. We're going to bring Derek back on, and we're going to go to beer 3.
Beer
number 3. There it is.
There you go.
Don't mind me. It's cold out here. My finger's sick.
You've only had 2, my friend. Are you okay over here?
He's a lightweight.
He is a lightweight.
He's a lightweight.
Parrot life.
So, Derek, what do we got for beer number 3 for Draftday?
Beer number 3 is Ghost in the Machine by Parish Brewing. It is a 8.5% New England style IPA. You can debate over whether it's a double or an imperial IPA, but it is, as we'll see, very, very hazy.
It looks kind of like orange juice a little bit.
Kind of
looks like
you can't even see through that, like
pulpy.
pineapple juice.
Yeah, it looks a little pulpy. Yeah,
very pulpy. The thing with this one is the IBUs are sitting at about 100 to 100 plus.
Oh, wow.
So it's only double what the last IPA we had.
Wow, so you're looking at 100 here. So this is
wow.
This will give you some kick then.
Yes, it should.
So this one will put hair on your peaches?
It could, yeah, very well could. It may take some hair off potentially too.
Very well could. All right. Well, cheers, sir.
Very good. Here, cheers y'all with my water again.
All good.
Oh, with your agua. You're the smarter one. Your kidneys will thank you later.
Hey, somebody's got to be responsible here on this show, okay?
Yeah, because
somebody's got to have
me.
responsibility.
It's not going to be me.
Right.
Me neither.
Wow.
Yeah, you don't even taste. It's not even bitter.
Woo! It just grabs.
Yeah.
But it's not bitter, and I expected that bitter taste.
Because you already had that first IPA and you drank some Trulies and you watered down.
Truly drank some Trulies.
Truly.
Truly.
But yeah, this is you get a lot of citrus, but mainly a tangerine forwardness.
Ooh, man. That's a good one. I really like this.
Yeah.
And there goes Chris.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Tangerine, citrus. It's hazy. It's just
Yeah,
all
it's
around
so hazy.
glorious.
All right.
This is a glory. I'm not going to lie. This is a damn good
We're
beer.
gonna have to have you back around here for March show that we got going on here, anniversary event, because I'm definitely gonna be trying that.
Okay, we'll bring this on. So that means that this probably lost tonight.
Maybe.
Depends on the last beer, guys.
It depends. Yeah, we still have one more
We'll
beer.
have to
We got
see.
one more.
We'll have to see.
One more beer. You better get your palate ready over there because it's about to come up in a few minutes.
Oh, snap.
Yes. Now this is a very heavy beer, so I would suggest Session will drink it, but he's going.
But he's gonna down it anyway
Yeah, he's done.
because that's what he
Sorry,
does.
you didn't say it before I started.
Yeah. Off screen. I'll be back with the next beers here shortly.
All right, Derek, the beer guy, with beer number 3. Thank you, Derek.
The beer guy. Thank you. Man.
All right, so
Back to our defensive keys, though, for the Kansas City Chiefs. And the first one, first and foremost, stopping Mostert. Stop this run game. You have to stop the run game. Tevin Coleman, I don't think, is going to be too much of a factor in this. However, Mostert's been able to absolutely kill it. In his last game alone, 29 rushes, 220 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. Absolutely obliterated the Green Bay defense.
yeah, the big key of why that happened was Tevin Coleman went down with injury.
Yep.
But the awesome part about this game on both sides of the ball is that both teams, a clean injury report.
Yep.
All players
100% healthy, clean.
All players that are available will be playing in this game, and I think that's going to be a big key because now you're going to have Coleman and Mostert back there, so you've got to definitely stop that run and prevent San Francisco's offense from having those long, continued, sustained 10, 11, 12-play drives that eat up just chunks of time off the clock. So that way you can get Pat Mahomes back on the field.
Absolutely, and that's going to be the big thing. And that's the thing is that if Kansas City can control the run game, start forcing 3 and outs by San Francisco, or at least hold them to short drives, you're going to be able to keep control of the game. Because once San Francisco gets a run game going, that's how they're able to win games. They can control the clock, control what kind of field advantage you're going to have, and are able to grind games out. And that's something that Kansas City has to absolutely prevent at all costs.
Yep, and going on to that second key there is you got to create turnovers, and that's a good way to kind of stop that momentum that San Francisco could potentially get. But I mentioned 23 fumbles forced for the Kansas City defense, tops in the NFL. 52 team sacks, tops in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So that is going to be a big key for Kansas City. Create those turnovers, get your offense back on the field, let Pat Mahomes go out there and do what he does best.
Absolutely. And then when you're looking at our all this beer's starting to catch up to me.
I see that. You're right over here.
Like a
You
little
need
indigestion or something. don't burp me. My wife does that enough.
Oh, got you. Okay. Sorry, Kelly. Sorry.
And she's watching, so I'm sure she just got a kick out of that.
Yeah, she is watching.
But either way, though, going on to our next point of the game, is going to be with limiting the big play as well. Now, I know it seems like pretty obvious. Oh, you just need to limit the big play. You can make things happen. But you need to understand that even though San Francisco doesn't have an offense that's quite on the level of what Kansas City has in explosiveness, they still are able to hit the big play, and it's usually in the running game. And that's the crazy part is that, especially with how the Mostert is running right now, you're going to be getting Tevin Coleman back, all that. It's going to help take great pressure off the passing game to be able to open up this running game. And that's what that's the thing is that usually people want to use the run instead of the pass. San Francisco sometimes will do it in reverse and use the pass to kind of set up the run. And then once it's rolling, you let it roll.
Yeah, the one thing about Kyle Shanahan is he is very creative when it comes to calling plays. And this offense, as you mentioned, they didn't need to pass the ball very much, 7 times in the NFC title game. But look at the previous game. They passed a little bit more because that's what was needed to be done.
Exactly.
And those big plays, they come off of, like you said, in the run game, which was what happened against Green Bay. But they use that run, set up the play action, and usually that is what will force those big plays for Jimmy Garoppolo in that offense.
Yeah, and usually to Kittle, because Kittle's usually the big beneficiary of that, I should say. And it's going to be amazing to see how this will play out, because this is going to be a war of attrition. Kyle Shanahan is great at being able to get his teams to adapt to whatever the situation may be, and that's going to be the big key for him. Why are you laughing? No.
So we have viewers watching the show here, and a friend of mine from back home in Michigan, Adam, he said that I copied his shirt today. He's also wearing a Matt Stafford jersey.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So yeah, shout out to all my Lions fans out there. This is the closest we're getting to a Super Bowl anytime soon.
I mean, yeah, and I guess this qualifies as wearing trash, or
says the guy who's got a Carson Wentz shirt that is fit for a toddler.
Hey,
it is two sizes too small, my friend.
It's to make me look buff, okay?
Oh, I got you.
I gotta look buff here and there. Yeah. How do they allow us to have a show?
Right, I know. All of this talk, we're talking about the keys to the game, offense, defense. Let's get down to it. I'm going to make you make a decision now.
Oh, my gosh.
So.
Well, before we make that decision, we have one more beer.
We do have one more beer.
We have one more beer. So we're going to bring on Derek the Beer Guy before we make our official predictions for Super Bowl 54.
Beer number 4 for Draft Day. Derek, what do you got for us?
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the final is a dessert beer of sorts.
Okay.
It's a Delirium Red. So they take Delirium Tremens and they age sour cherries with it. So it has a little sour cherry, like a cherry tartness to it, but it gets rid of that extra Delirium Tremens tends to have with the yeast, a very mineral background to it. So it's a little off-putting. I like Delirium Tremens. It's a really good beer. It's a good Belgian, I think it would be a Belgian blonde ale, a Belgian pale ale. But this particular beer.
So the tartness, the sourness, I thought you were going to go say it's a sour beer.
It in a way isn't. It's technically a Belgian fruit beer.
Okay.
Or field beer. And field would be that it has ingredients that you can find in a field, essentially, or from nature.
Oh, very nice. That looks dark.
No smell, though.
That looks dark.
It is very dark. It barely has smell. I mean, it does have a sweet cherry tart smell. Yeah, it's there. But it's an 8.5% beer.
Okay.
Fruit beer.
It's got a little bit of kick to it.
It does.
All right.
Too bad you can't have it.
I know. I probably would. I would enjoy it. But cheers to our beer number 4.
Beer number 4
for Draft Day.
Clinky. Wow. Yeah. That is delicious. All the fruit overtones. It doesn't bite real hard at all. Barely any aftertaste.
Nothing.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's literally cherry tart juice, essentially.
Ooh, that is good.
Except with alcohol.
Not gonna lie, I think I know who wins this one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you think you got a clear-cut winner here, huh?
Man, that is good.
But you didn't down it as fast as you did the other one.
I'm
so
trying to actually enjoy this.
Oh, okay, I got you.
A astringent tartness to it.
Yes, like a little sour.
That with an IPA you can down pretty quick, but when you have a little tart flavor to it, it's not a downable beer.
A little bit more of a lip smacker.
Yeah, lip smacker. Sessionable dessert beer at the end of the year,
Yeah.
Of course, out of this 4-course, the 4th course is your dessert. So I mean,
dessert beer.
Getting the nice City Limits.
Where did everything go?
It's all gone. I drank it.
You drank it all.
We eat glass too.
Yes,
it's gone. We do the whole thing. But sirs, I guess we'll come back shortly. I guess.
Yeah, we're gonna make our final decision.
We'll pick, and then we'll bring you back on, and we'll pick a beer.
Pick the beer.
Couple of minutes.
Oh yeah, definitely good. This is an amazing beer. I really wish you could try this.
Now that we've got you good and liquored up here on the set, we got to get you to make a stupid decision.
Oh, that's so easy to do when I'm liquored up.
Right, exactly. So with that said, we need to make a Super Bowl prediction for tonight. The game kicks off in just under an hour. Just under an hour. So who is your pick? Are you taking San Francisco or are you taking Kansas City?
This one I had to think really long and hard about. And it was really tough to choose this because the old adage is always defense wins championships, right? And San Francisco definitely has an amazing, amazing defense that's going to be able to go out and make plays and could possibly help San Francisco be successful in this game. However, we live in the age of high-octane, powered offenses that are able to go out at will and even destroy great defenses. And while a defense may win a championship, offense can win a game. And that's why I am choosing the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game 27-24.
And you, much like a lot of other people, picking Kansas City to win this, and they absolutely could. That offense, what Patrick Mahomes can do, this is a really tight game. The spread is only 1.5.
1.5.
1.5. So with that,
might as well be a pick 'em.
I also think it's going to be a very tight game. But I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers. I think they're going to be able to control the clock on offense. That defense bends, as you mentioned, but does not break. They don't. Maybe they'll cause some turnovers and get Patrick Mahomes in some really uncomfortable situations. But I'm going to have, just like we did last year, I'm going to have a bold prediction.
Bold prediction.
Bold prediction for
Here
the
on
Super
Final
Bowl.
Score, fans.
I'm going to say that the ground game for the San Francisco 49ers is going to get over 150 total yards rushing.
150 total.
Over 150 total
sir.
yards rushing, and at least 2 scores on the ground. Yo, I'm going out there. At least 2 scores on the ground, 150 yards rushing. They're going to control this clock, and they're going to win this football game 31-28 over Kansas City and win their 6th Vince Lombardi trophy.
Now, I know you haven't been drinking, but did you, hit something behind this fence before the show or something like that? Because, man, that's a bold prediction, sir. 150?
150.
Man, that's crazy. That's
150.
Crazy.
Now, that's between Tevin Coleman and Mozart. And whoever else.
I could see
not
that
by
possibly
one
happening.
person.
I
I'm
could see
talking
that
about
happening.
as a team on the ground, 150 yards rushing, 2 scores,
Man.
control this clock, and they will, because they're going to have to be able to try to keep up with Kansas City's
Absolutely,
offense.
they're going to have to. And with Kansas City, what they've been able to do has been absolutely amazing to watch. So, especially when you have the second human highlight reel, I like to call him, in Patrick Mahomes behind Lamar Jackson. It's just amazing to see what that offense has been able to do throughout this season and even last season. It's going to be a great game. No matter who wins, this game is going to go down to the wire, and it's going to be amazing. If our score choices tell you anything, this game is going to be amazing. So definitely make sure you check it out. It'll be live.
The legend of Jimmy Garoppolo will grow. And so here's we've got some time before we wrap up and bring Derek in for the final end of the show. I want to ask you something real quick. Do you think the Patriots made a mistake getting rid of Jimmy Garoppolo?
I mean, it's easy to sit here and try and say if they had Jimmy G instead of, maybe Tom Brady, that they'd be in the Super Bowl right now. It's easy to try and say that, but hindsight's 20/20. Honestly, I feel they should have kept Jimmy Garoppolo and moved on from Tom Brady. I know that's what Bill Belichick wanted to do at the time. It was not what Robert Kraft wanted to do at the time. So it's going to be interesting. But I don't know. It's really hard to tell. But I think Derek the Beer Guy says he has an opinion on this.
Yeah, Derek's got
Derek.
an opinion. You want to come on in and we'll wrap up the show.
I don't necessarily have 100% opinion, other than if you look at the history of Garoppolo and Brady. Brady suffered a traumatic injury, similar to his counterpart did. I can't recall his name.
Drew Bledsoe.
And similar situation happened where Garoppolo had to step in. He did a couple good games. I remember that season. He stepped in, did pretty good, and then as always, he's good. But he was young. He was still new to the team and new to ways, and he had the potential. He was basically a Brady potential in that sense.
Absolutely.
And so, all you're seeing is his potential come out right now. And that was my only opinion that I had.
I like that. I like it though. Look at Derek the Beer Guy. He's having good analytics over here. I like it.
I like it.
Yeah, I don't follow it all the time, but I am opinionated.
But what you do follow is good beer.
Good beer.
And now that we have the Super Bowl picks in, it's time to make our pick of the show.
All right, so,
High quality H2O.
yes.
Nope,
always
sorry,
hydrate.
that's just always hydrate.
Yes.
Always
that's-
hydrate.
That's
And
your
tip your
hydration
waitresses.
Insert. But yeah, the Delirium Red is such a seasonal and one-of-a-kind beer that you don't get to drink that often, that I'm going to have to go with that. The Sweetwater is good. The Truly you get all the time. Those two you get all the time. When it comes to Ghost in the Machine, that might be a little limited, but I know for a fact that for years I've known about this beer, and it's been very hard to drink and find at a bar. So I'm going to have to go with Delirium Red, Belgian fruit beer. You get it here at City Limits. Come up for Guys Night, Ladies Night, get a discount on it.
That's right.
But,
Awesome.
Get crunk, have a good time.
Yeah, I have to agree. I feel like this Belgian fruit beer is honestly amazing. I feel like you could pair it as a nice dessert beer pretty much with anything. And it doesn't have too much bite, doesn't leave too much of an aftertaste, and it's something you could sit back and drink or pound if you had to, if you're like me.
Had to.
So I feel like it can serve any kind of purpose in that manner, and I have to agree. I think that is our beer pick.
So it looks like that's going to be our beer of the show, really, of Draft Day.
Beer of Super Bowl 54 for Draft Day.
Which you can only get
Final Score
at City Limits Taproom.
That's
You
right.
get it at the City Limits Taproom, and if you look around, you could find it elsewhere, but City Limits Taproom is the place to get it on draft.
That's right.
It's going to be anywhere else on bottle. It's a little different on draft. I got to tell you, it is the best to have.
Yeah, it's
I feel
really
like
good
things
on
are
draft.
better on draft anyway, really.
Oh, yeah, I have to
Yes.
agree.
Depending
Whether it be
on
soda,
what
beer.
I
Yeah.
guess it comes down to the brand and who you're buying from, the style of beer, really
Right.
for aging purposes. But that's a whole nother segment in itself.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
On a future draft day, maybe.
Yeah, it'll go on the history of it. But no, I'm glad for this decision.
Yes, I agree. So definitely make sure you come down to City Limits, 2620 North Woodland Boulevard in beautiful D-Land, Florida. And you can try this beer.
D-Land.
That's right, D-Land.
Sounded a lot like Duval in Jacksonville.
Oh, my God. You're
So
killing me.
who copied that first?
I mean, D-Land's been around since the 1800s, so I think we win.
Okay, I'll give you
Yeah,
that.
suck it,
Yeah,
Jacksonville.
yeah.
Anyways, thank you so much for joining us, Derek, and bringing us all these
you.
great brews. And, of course, our pick of the month, you can only get over here on draft at City Limits Taproom, so make sure you come out, check it out, get yourself a flight, drink it all down, because it is amazing.
It is. Thank
Lots
you.
of fun. Thank you, Derek, the beer guy. Excellent show.
Yes,
Excellent.
Excellent. Thank you,
Excellent.
Derek. Thank you. And that brings us almost to the end of our show. It's been
That
a
does.
good one. We thought we were going to be able to talk about more stuff, but somehow we pulled this out of our ass and made it happen through the technical difficulties and everything.
Yes.
But definitely make sure, though, that you stay tuned to all things Final Score and, of course, Podcast City Network as well. We have a lot of great things that are going to be coming up here in the very near future, including our March 7th show here at City Limits Taproom at 2620 North Woodland Boulevard in beautiful D-Land, Florida, as we will be hosting our 2-year anniversary event alongside CCE Presents as they bring in 7 Kingdoms and others to play here at City Limits Taproom. It's going to be a great show. So if you're able to make it out, make sure you do. It's $10 at the door. It's going to be a great show, great food, great drinks. Going to be plenty of specials that are going to be announced in the coming month. So definitely make sure you check it out. And, of course, stay tuned to Final Score because we'll have some more info on that as well as Podcast City Network.
Absolutely. And
I'm really starting to feel these beers now.
you're starting to feel it, right? Well, you just pounded 4 in about, 45 minutes?
Yeah, and I already had 2
40
before
minutes.
the show. So I'm 6 beers deep, guys.
Hence why your crazy prediction, I
Hey,
think.
hey now. Kansas City, it's been 50 years. It's just a small fact. Kansas City hasn't been to a Super Bowl in 50 years, and last time they went, they won. So just saying.
True, they are 1-1 in Super Bowls.
1-1. About to go 2-2.
You mean 2-1?
2-2.
How
Yeah.
2-2? They're only 1-1.
Or 2. Whatever. I'm drinking a lot of beer. Be quiet. Either way.
This
though,
is what happens when you let him drink on set.
Yeah, you can't let me drink on set. That's why it's always.
And your wife also mentioned, please don't get too drunk.
I'll try not to. And I know why she said that.
He had his fingers crossed behind his back.
Don't say that. She'll hurt me. Anyways, definitely make sure that you check out all things Final Score on social media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going onto any of those platforms and searching at PCN Final Score. Give us a like, give us a follow. Make sure that you check mark for notifications. And, of course, leave us a rating. Let us know how we're doing. We're always trying to bring the very best show that we can to you, the fans. And also make sure that you follow us on all of our content platforms. All you have to do is go on to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Podbean, Stitcher, and, of course, Google Podcasts, and search keyword Final Score, one word, and make sure that you give us a follow there. That way you can stay up to date on all of our latest content offerings that we release, including episode 45, the Super Bowl 54 preview show. See, everything's getting crazy.
But we are
inverted.
episode 45.
Yes, episode 45 for Super Bowl 54. You know what's funny is I almost screwed that up on social media earlier, too.
Oh,
so
really?
Almost. And I wasn't
We
even
were
drinking
about
yet.
to go back in time for Super Bowls.
We were. It was going to be a fun time. Anyways, though, also make sure that you follow All Things Podcast City Network on all of their different offerings, including on Facebook, Twitter, and on their website at podcastcity.net. And you can check out Final Score there as well at podcastcity.net/Final Score. But it is almost close to the beautiful time known as game time.
Yep, we're only about 45 minutes away from kickoff, and
Oh, yeah.
so we are going to finish up watching the pregame shows
Yes.
ourselves on Fox, as well as the
Sobering up.
commercials.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Was that inner monologue coming out?
Inner monologue just came out on you. But we're gonna go watch. We're gonna go watch some of these commercials that are about to happen.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
Always great for Super Bowl commercials.
And just to throw it out there, I know we're almost to game time, but Tom Brady and the post that he made with him walking out the tunnel was for a Super Bowl ad. So do not get excited.
Was he
found that out
walking
today?
Oh, really? I didn't know
found
that.
out today. That was for a Super Bowl ad. It means nothing when it comes to free agency.
I love it.
Tom Brady watch is still on.
Brady is the ultimate troll right now because
He
he
is the
knows he
ultimate
can
troll.
control
Yeah,
everything in the
Tom
palm of
Brady.
his hand
Love.
right now. And of course, next
Yes.
week on Final Score, we're going to be talking about Brady Watch. Where's he going to go?
That's right.
Other teams that are interested, or at least said interest in him. We're going to talk about NHL All-Star Game was this last weekend as well.
That's right. So definitely make
So we're
sure
gonna
that
talk about
you
that.
join us on February 8th, 11 a.m. on Facebook Live for our normal offering every week. We did mix it up this week for the Super Bowl, but we'll be back on track come next week. So definitely make sure you check it out. A lot of great things. And we'll also be talking about the NFL Hall of Fame selections.
Yep.
Along with a lot of great news, a lot of things that have been happening in sports. So it's going to be great. So definitely make sure that you join us. Just go to-
Zion's debut.
Yeah, Zion Williamson's
We're talking about that.
debut with the New Orleans Pelicans. So make sure that you join us on Facebook.com/PCN Final Score. Give us a like, give us a follow, and you can make sure you get the notification for when we announce that episode later this week. But until then, make sure that you enjoy Super Bowl 54. Have a very safe night. Make sure that if you are drinking, you find a ride home because we don't want any of our fans having anything bad happen to them because no need to have senseless things happen like that.
Yes, please do drink responsibly. Call Uber, ride share service, anything like that.
Yeah, Lyft, a friend, your mother, anybody.
Yeah, anybody. Please do so. Please be responsible. And don't be too hungover for work tomorrow. It's National Call Out Day tomorrow.
I'll try not to call out. But until then, I'm Chris. That's Craig. And you just watched Final Score. Have a great night.
Podcast City Network.